Good day, and welcome to Conversations with AARP in the Virgin Islands. I'm Troy Deshabir Schuster, State Director of AARP in this territory, and we're pleased to bring you another episode in our series of anti fraud, anti scam conversations. Today's episode of In Conversation with AARP Virgin Islands is part of AARP's effort in collaboration with the Virgin Islands Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs to help consumers, to include small business owners, avoid scams. It will explain common scams that target small businesses, describe scammers' tactics, and provide meaningful steps consumers can take to protect their company from scams. In 2020, the US Better Business Bureau reported that small businesses lost an average of 5% of their gross revenues due to fraud and scams. Based on the survey data, the percentage has remained constant over the years. However, with the onset of COVID-19, this percentage is expected to spike in the coming years as scammers are getting more sophisticated. And so today we're pleased to welcome Commissioner Richard Evangelista, Attorney Evangelista, the Commissioner of the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs in the Virgin Islands. Welcome, Commissioner.
Good day, Mr. Dishabir Schuster. I always look forward to these recordings because not only do we get to do it live, but persons have an opportunity to view this over and over and over again. So hopefully you don't get tired. But as you alluded to, we have been on the show before speaking about scams towards individuals, but I'm happy to note that you agree that Dlca does assist both consumers as well as businesses. And today we are going to speak about those scams that are targeted towards small businesses because after all, small businesses are actually owned by our community, the persons who live and breathe here and who may happen to be members of ARP. So, what we're here to do today is to educate the small businesses to let them know that we are aware that there are scams that are targeting you specifically. So, Mr. Dishabir Schuster, you let me know where you want us to go and we can begin. Buckle up your seatbelt.
Yep, great. Thank you so much, Commissioner. And I must say that we especially extend a special thanks to you because of all of the more recent leaders of your department. You've been very, very, very proactive in bringing forth information regarding scams and fraud that's affecting people here in the Virgin Islands. So thank you for your great work in the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs. Recognizing tremendous costs of fraud on small firms and not for profit agencies, how is your agency working to protect business owners?
Sure. One of the things I have to share with you is we have not had a director of consumer affairs for the past 4 months. So this line staff has literally been taking on the bull by its horns. But I'm happy to say that in the coming future, hopefully in the next show, we will have a newly direct appointed director of consumer affairs who will be able to assist myself as the office of the commissioner, but also directly with the consumer protection office. Specifically, it's all about education. And quite frankly, without ARP, we would probably be failing at educating the community about what the office of division of rather of consumer protection does. But with your assistance, we are able to get to a plethora of a number of folks to ensure that they are safe. Today, we're talking about small businesses, as you indicated. And what I want to share with you, in the same similar fashion that scammers go after individuals, it's pretty much the same avenue that they utilize to get to businesses. Unfortunately, with a business, you're speaking of perhaps larger sums of money and more sophisticated ways. But one of the most common ways is they will send a business a fake invoice similar to an individual, and I'm going to parlay on and compare so that we can attack both heads, is a business may be too busy. They're trying to ensure their staff is safe from COVID-19 as well as their customers. So a scammer will attempt to send, as an example, hypothetically, say ARP is a business, an invoice for, say, $1,000 for gloves. That's the item that's being purchased currently. It seems common enough. The accounts payable person says, "Oh, post it." Mr. Dishabir Schuster signs off it and it's paid. As simple as that. So if you can get someone to ensure that they are meticulously looking at the invoices to ensure that that is a real, vendor. The vendor's name may be accurate, but perhaps the account number may be inaccurate and sent to someone else's account number. The other thing are imposters. In this day and age, we know that there's quote unquote federal government aid. So you may have somebody contact the business and say, I'm from SBA, I'm from a disaster loan agency, I need to have information from you. Ladies and gentlemen, just like the Internal Revenue Service contacting you as an individual, if you're a business owner, these loan opportunities from the federal government will not contact you and ask you for specific information. You have to reach out to them, and they in turn will request that you submit this information in writing, in black and white, whether by fax or by email. So please, if you get that phone call, ARP of the Virgin Islands, I don't know if it's you, Mr. Dishabert Schuster, or Miss Pamela. If somebody's saying, hey, we have a pay protection loan we'd like to offer you, just hang up the phone. If you have time, report it to the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Federal Trade Commission, or even to my office so that we can alert the community that these scams are going along. Another instance, so we've already said fake invoices. Number two, imposters claiming to assist you with getting money is someone who says they're going to build your brand. They're going to tell you, we can help you build your brand. We can put you at a higher rank on the website when you're actually searched on Google. We can put you in the yellow pages. Yellow pages is not as common anymore, but in some major cities, it's still a constant source that people refer to when looking up a business. you know, Ladies and gentlemen, everyone is out there to make a buck. So I've already listed three of them for you, but I'm going to allow you to ask a question because I'm a shy person and I would hate to take the mic away from you, Mr. Dishabir Schuster.
Okay, so pardon me, I may have lost you along the way, but we had
Sure.
the scams of
You,
false
you, a
invoices.
fake invoice will be submitted to the
Yeah.
business requesting payment.
The next one
You have
was
an imposter claiming to be someone from a federal agency, maybe from SBA or from a loan institution, or even in some instances, WAPA locally. We're here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So, hi, my name is Troy Dishabir Schuster. I'm a customer rep for WAPA. I'm calling to inform you that if you do not pay your electric bill, we will shut you off. This is the address to send your payment to. You
Mhm.
know, if in fact a person contacts you by phone, get the phone number, get an address, find out who the person reports to, call that office and see if in fact that is a real person or a real number. It may even be a robot calling you. I mean, we've gotten so sophisticated with technology that sometimes it's not even a human.
Do you find that we have a lot of hackers here in the Virgin Islands, by the way? Are people able to hack into computers operated by businesses, owned by businesses?
Sure. I personally have not experienced it, but as we are aware, within the past 2 or 3 years, there has been an alleged hack of the Water and Power Authority's system wherein someone submitted an invoice. I believe that's a story. I can't recall the exact facts, but a payment was made nonetheless to an imposter, to an entity that really was not to whom the payment was destined. So it has happened to a business. In this instance, the our utility company, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority. So it exists, And one of the things, Mr. Dishabir Schuster, that we're aware of, we are in a virtual world. So no matter where you are, you can be in the North Pole, you can be at the South Pole, you can be in Europe. Someone right now could be hacking into this recording if it wasn't, protected properly. So, really and truly, it doesn't matter where you are now. If you are on the World Wide Web, the opportunity exists and we just have to be careful. I'm not saying don't get on the World Wide Web because, as you know, our life has become a lot more simpler. We don't have to run around asking each other, can I borrow a stamp from you and I'll return it after you to put this bill in the mail? Or, you're about to go travel. You have to put the check in the mail to cover the credit card. You get where you're going. And then they tell you, well, your bill is not paid. Your credit card is no good. And you're thinking, but I just mailed it. But you got on the plane 2 hours ago. Now, at the touch of a button, you get your account number up, you hit online, you access your account, and it's done. So there are pros, but also with the pros of the internet, we also have to be very careful. And that's why, thanks to ARP of the Virgin Islands, we're here today to assist DLCA, to assist these small businesses, as well as the individuals who are listening to this broadcast.
And recently, maybe other people have been experiencing this also. I've been getting an email message over and over. I think that probably appeals to small business owners, saying that the IRS is going to pounce and we can help you deal with your IRS issues. And I don't own a small business. I don't have any IRS issues at all. And yet I'm getting these emails and it's going into my trash folder, but I'm sure that a lot of other people are getting them, especially small businesses. And
Correct.
have you heard of that one in particular about people helping you deal with IRS issues, just sending out these spam emails?
Yes, of course, that along with the other ones, as we've spoken in the past, where so we're not only assisting you to fix your tax issues, but we're also sharing with you that you've won $1 million and this is where you need to go. And those persons that are requesting to assist you with your tax issues, and this can go for a business as well, is they will often tell you that we can assist you, but we need you to pay us a price upfront to get the service going. So, and they don't ask you necessarily to pay in cash. They'll tell you go get that gift card, supply us with the PIN number. Like everything else and anything there's a scam. If it sounds too good to be true, it's not true. So please just verify and check. And you can go online, and I'm here to say you can go on the National ARP website, and they actually have a section that deals with scams and a number that you can call to actually verify if you're not contacting the Federal Trade Commission. So I have to applaud ARP for being, you know, nationally involved to ensure that the local as well as the national community stay safe and abreast of the current scams.
Yes, thank you. And what steps can business owners take to protect their businesses from scams? And any tips or advice?
I'm not the cyber expert. However, I think the most common tip and basic tip that I can provide to small business owners is use your common sense. I know it's a very exhausting time. COVID-19 has caused new challenges that overcome and surmount those obstacles that are usually customary with operating a small business. But you just have to be more diligent when reading your email and opening your email. So if you get an email that is not one of your routine senders, perhaps you can set up a filter in your inbox that, for the main emails that you receive routinely, they go into one box, and those that need extra attention, perhaps you can route it there. I think that's the most layperson manner in which I can assist as a layperson who's not a cyber expert. But other than that, if you see something strange, you can contact Dlca at 727 scam. That's 727 7226, or 771 scam, 771 7226. You would be reporting to the Consumer Protection Division, and we would make a note of it, and we could follow up to see if in fact a scam or a new scam exists or one that has existed, and we can just alert you. And then in turn, together, we actually alert the community via press release or via medium such as this that has been afforded to us by ARP of the Virgin Islands, thanks to State Director Troy Deshabir Schuster.
Thank you. And one thing that always makes me wonder, when you consider this great technology that we have at our fingertips, especially the great technology that the federal government has at their fingertips, which far surpasses anything that any consumer can ever acquire. And I mean, why aren't they able to trace and track down some of these scammers and bring them to justice? I mean, it seems like with IP addresses and so forth, even with VPNs. I know VPNs offer a certain layer of protection, but I mean, the federal government can pierce through a VPN and trace that IP address. So, is the federal government doing anything? Have you heard of anything being done on the federal level to decrease the number of scams?
Sure. Since I took office here at the Department of License and Consumer Affairs, I have had conversations with the U.S. Attorney's Office, Attorney Shapir. I've had conversations with the United States Postal Service Inspector of the Virgin Islands. And quite frankly, chasing scammers is like looking at the sun. It's a matter of priorities and the dollar amount. These occurrences occur so often that it's a matter of you can't just hold your open your eyes and say I'm going to grab that one. It's a matter of what facts are in front of you and which are the most simplest to um, work with, other than if in fact you have a major scam attack that affects millions of people and millions of dollars. And that's why we as a community need to ensure that we are vigilant ourselves and we help ourselves as much as possible. Now, we have to use our common sense. Obviously, if we go beyond our common sense and start getting excited and stop thinking, and the prize money is beckoning and saying, "Hey, come and collect me," so we instinctively then go get a gift card to cash in. Just pay attention to what's going on, and in the end, hopefully we'll all be safe. But in fact, things do happen. Mr. Dishabir Schuster. And the federal government is doing as much as it can. I'm sure they're overwhelmed. Now they have COVID 19 as well as all the other crimes that have occurred. And with COVID 19, I have to tell the businesses beware. COVID 19 has brought along scammers to businesses also, because you have companies who may have products that you are trying to bring into your business to ensure that not only your customers are safe, but also your staff. So you're sending large sums of money, whether by wire or by mail, to these companies that may not even exist. They may bait you by sending you a couple hundred items, so then you place a major order, and then what happens? It no, it doesn't come through. So what do we have to do? We just have to be vigilant, and we have to make sure we pay attention. And if in fact you are scammed as a business, please report it and share it. Don't share your misery. What you're actually doing is you're sharing the information to ensure that someone else is not scammed as a business. I spoke about the COVID 19 items for a small business. You may start receiving supplies that you haven't even ordered. You at ARP of the Virgin Islands, you may start receiving, pens, paraphernalia for ARP, and you're like, oh, wow, this is great. Your business office pays it. And then 2 years later, when you're attempting to reconcile your accounts, you say, wait a minute, we never ordered these items, but you accepted it, you paid for it. So there's just so many different ways that scammers are getting into the coffers of a business to try to abscond money that doesn't belong to them.
And what about now? This is getting away from small businesses to a certain
Sure.
extent, but at the same time, it affects small businesses ultimately. What about the pandemic scams, such as all of the misinformation that's out there, trying to steer people away from the vaccine, and the rise? I mean, what are your views on that? Do you view that as a scam? The misinformation. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Mr. Disha Schuster, you told me we are only here for 30 minutes. Now we're going to have to turn this into a 24-hour show. Quite frankly, as you know, as the commissioner of the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs, my enforcement team is part of the COVID 19 task force that have been sharing duty with the Virgin Islands Police Department as well as the Department of Health. And, information can be good, it can be bad. Too much, too little. It's all a matter of what you believe in. And I'm not going to profess and try to convince anyone otherwise. The information exists. And quite frankly, as you know, the person who provides the information or the establishment that provides the information, they're going to attempt to sway you to what they believe. All I can say is, please, ladies and gentlemen, do the right thing. The numbers are there. As you witnessed locally here in the United States Virgin Islands, I think we're up to number 71 in terms of persons passing since this pandemic entered the United States Virgin Islands. The ages of the persons passing are getting younger. Condolences to those families. And quite frankly, I think the numbers have proven locally that of the persons that have passed from COVID 19, the number of persons who are unvaccinated far exceed those that are vaccinated. Vaccination does not mean that you don't get COVID. It simply means your chances of survival if you are tested positive for COVID 19 and get the symptoms. The suffering should be less severe and definitely, hopefully, not nearly as fatal as if you did not get it. So, at the end of the day, misinformation is considered information by other folks, but just use your critical thinking, do the right thing, and just look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Some people don't like numbers. Statistics in college, you may have liked it. I disliked it. You're thinking 2%, 5%, just give me the answer. But numbers don't lie, and we have to look at the numbers. One of the things that I'd like to share with you is, for those of you who do not want to get the vaccine, but actually would like the liberty of traveling with a vaccine card, a passport that demonstrates that you've been vaccinated, that scam exists. There are fake COVID-19 vaccine cards that are for sale. And I would hope that the time and money that you invest to purchase that from a scammer, so now you're profiting somebody who is doing something against the law, that you would simply go get a vaccine that is free. Can you imagine that, Mr. Dishabishu? So some people will actually take their money and purchase a fake card with the potential of getting arrested for utilizing fake information for a towards a government, instead of just getting something that's free. We're here speaking about money and cents. We're DLCA. So at that point, you're gonna have to help me with that comment, Dishabir Schuster. Free vaccine versus paying for a fake vaccine card. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the risk you run by not getting the vaccine. I mean, we see examples all around us, all over the world, all over the United States, right here in the Virgin Islands, of people who refuse the vaccine for whatever purposes, whether it's health or religious or even just simple ideology, ideas they may carry in their mind, and then they end up severely ill and in many cases dead. I mean, how tragic,
Correct.
and
Correct.
the vaccine is there to help save lives. It's not there to inject some kind of microchip for you to be tracked or any kind of nonsense like that. And
Correct. And I think the point that we need to drive home as it relates to COVID-19 is, I'm not here to sway or dissuade anyone from their personal beliefs, but quite frankly, when you are suffering from COVID-19 and you request assistance at the point that you're admitted and near death, and you're told that we cannot administer anything to you because it's too late. I mean, that's the part where I can't cross the bridge and have much empathy for someone that says, "Well, I'm just not going to do it." I think that's where we need to go, because I get it. If we're feeling healthy and we're strong, but you get it so that you don't get to the point where, wow, I need the assistance, but now it's unavailable because I'm not healthy enough to receive it. Isn't that a play on words? So,
absolutely, yeah, it's terribly ironic, tragically ironic. And so we talked about the misinformation being a type of COVID-19 scam or fraud, but what other types of scams or frauds have arisen since the beginning of this pandemic? Are there any particular types that you haven't seen before that have suddenly come about now?
no, not particularly. As specific examples, I'm gonna have to dig, but I think at the end of the day, it's all the same. You have someone who does not have any good intention, that's trying to retrieve money from someone who has either worked for it, or I guess they inherited it, but nonetheless, they're trying to get money for something that is not what the person who purchased that item for actually was in the process of, I thought they were getting. So they're getting a six for a nine. And, we just have to be vigilant. We as a community, we are a community where there is a number of persons who are beneficiaries of federal stimulus payments, and persons are aware. It's national news. They can do a demographic trend, and they will contact you, to share something with you or to purchase something for you or attempt to influence you. Another thing that has been coming out, I'm sure, of late, is because persons are passing, there's those scam artists who are in the process of selling life insurance.
Mm,
And it's funny, so the person who doesn't want to take the vaccine now gets scammed into buying life insurance that maybe not registered. So that's another thing. For those of you who are in the business of, or in the process of thinking about purchasing life insurance, contact not only the person who's selling you the life insurance, ask them for the actual provider of that insurance, so that you can verify that, in fact, that individual is not only licensed, but the product is actually real. Because, can you imagine, you think you get a great deal, you're paying $30 a month for $20,000 worth of insurance every month for 5 years. Something happens, and then you find out you've really just been sending this payment to a mailbox, in the middle of nowhere, and someone has benefited from you. So that's another thing that has come up on the radar, and I just would like the community to know that and to be aware that it does exist. There are scammers in the community, and when I say in the community, I'm saying the worldwide community, as I alluded to, Mr. Dishabir Schuster. They can be anywhere. They can have a area code on the cell phone that you receive the call with 340. They can be in anywhere in the world. They don't have to be here. As
Right.
you know, numbers are portable now. They're transferable. They can even get a 340 number on a burner phone. So that account, that's not even an account tied to that. It's simply somebody that put, X amount of dollars on a phone to make that phone call. So, we just have to be careful. And Mr. Troy Dishabir Schuster, I'd like to thank you, and ARP of the Virgin Islands for continuing to allow us to share the information that we have at DLCA with the community, both your members as well as the non-members. And if I can put in a plug-in, I've been promoting ARP of the Virgin Islands. As I learned, the benefits increase as you get more mature, but essentially you can start at a much younger age than you think, and as simple as a discount in a grocery store. So let's work on those membership numbers, ARP of the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, absolutely. The benefits are great. The benefits are great of being an AARP member. And yes, anybody can become a member even at the age of 18 and start experiencing lots of great discounts. And as our commissioner said, the more mature you become, the more benefits you can receive. I like that term, more
Yeah,
mature.
well, younger and mature to me work together. So when I say younger, people chuckle. So I started using mature now.
Right. So to become a member, please visit www.aarp.org on the internet and click on membership, and all the information is there as to how you can become a member either online or by calling the 800 number. It's really simple. And so, just to wrap us up real quick, we have just about a minute left. How can consumers contact the DLCA to learn more about protecting themselves and also to report scams and frauds?
Sure. As I alluded to earlier, please call us at 340-727-7226. 7226 stands for SCAM, scam, so it's simple. Or 340-771-7226, which is 340-771 SCAM. So we have an actual scam line. It exists, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a call, and we're here to assist you as best as we can. Thank you, ARP, and thank you, Mr. Dishabir Schuster.
Thank you. Thank you. We've been speaking today in conversation with Commissioner Richard T. Evangelista, Commissioner of the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs in the government of the Virgin Islands of the United States of America. Thank you for joining us.